Hello and welcome to another episode of The Naked Turner. Today I've just cut a series of 12 walnut segments, bringing me out to a 23-inch diameter, which will end up getting me about 22.5-inch, probably 22.75-inch ring out of those 12 pieces. I'm going to go cut another 12 that are going to be just a tiny bit smaller than this, and we'll stack underneath this ring. And then I'll be applying that to, I think, a solid base, or maybe one more ring. Okay, I made 3 rings. This is the smallest ring. This ring is 20 inches across to the outer edge. Let's see, is it 20? Yeah, 20 inches across to the outside edge. And then I made 2 more rings. Here's the parts for them. That ring and the final ring. This is the middle ring over here, and that will become the last ring over there. Once I have all those clamped together, I will be applying those to a solid base, which I'm gluing up right now. I'll show you an image of that. Alright, so over here I have a piece that is, what is it? It's 21 inches right now, and then I'll be cutting that into about a 20-inch circle to go on the bottom of the smallest ring, and then the other 2 rings will fit on top of that. And as you can see, this is a pretty substantial piece of walnut here. It's 2¼ inches thick, 20 in the middle, it's 21, and then the 2 side pieces are at 20, something like that, or 19, 21 and 19. And that's because I don't need as much. Once I get past the middle of this ring, I'll be cutting that into a rough circle and then turning it true on the lathe, and then putting a mortise in the bottom of it and gluing some rings on once I flip it around. Alright, so there's the first ring all glued up, and hopefully you can see that the wedgie sled I'm using is giving me perfect glue joints all the way around. I don't have any little voids anywhere. So it's working really nicely. Once again, I'm extremely impressed with the wedgie sled. So I ended up cutting, 36 segments, right around 6 inches long, somewhere from about 5 5/8 out to about 6 1/16 inch long segments using this, and it worked out extremely well. Like I was saying, as you can see, these glue joints are super tight, just enough room for glue. Alright, so now here I have them taped together into 2 rows of 6, split it in half, and then I'll be gluing these 2 halves up and putting tape around them and cinching them together, and then putting a band clamp around them. Next ring is glued up here, and it looks like my joints are nice and tight. I don't even think I need to put a band clamp on it. This stretching the tape as I went around with this stretchy vinyl tape. It looks like I got plenty of glue squeeze out everywhere. So I'm just going to set it here, let it dry up. Ring number 2, and the base is looking real good. It's drying up nicely, staying straight. So I'm happy with that. Alright, getting ready to glue up the last of the 3 rings here. This one is out at 23 inches. Alright, all 3 rings are glued up now, and like I said before, the base is right down here on track for a 23-inch vessel, 9 inches, what is it? Yeah, right around 9 inches tall. So hopefully this turns out. I hope it doesn't explode or do something crazy on me. I'm going to allow this to glue up really well before I try doing any turning on it. And there's the base for it on top now. So it's going to be a pretty good sized bowl. Alright, I have the circle laid out on the bottom of this bowl, and it is 21 inches for my rough blank. Alright, now I've got the base roughed in to round out at 21 inches. There it is on the lathe. This is the base here out at 21 inches. Okay, I'm going to try to capture a little bit of this, but I don't have much memory here, so Alright, I'm forming the foot here now, and then I'll form my mortise, which will become a decorative part of this piece, and we'll see how well it does. I'm going to make it a relatively deep mortise, and I'm going to use my large bowl jaws. So we'll see how it goes. This is actually a pretty large bowl to be doing this with, but I think this particular piece of walnut is real stable, and I'm going to give it plenty of room outside of the foot with solid stock, and I'll go a little deeper than this in order to achieve a nice deep foot on this, and hope that I can get a good grip and keep a good grip on this bowl. Plus I'll be turning relatively slow, and I'll try to bring my tailstock up here whenever I can and give it a little tailstock pressure as well. Alright, so now I have my caliper set here for the size of my large jaws so that I can get a nice snug fit. And that will ensure for me that, yeah, that'll just get me in there. I'll be nice and snug. Have a little bit of clearance, but not too much. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is do a little mortising here. Let me throw on my safety gear. Alright, well, it's looking really good. I'm going to let it do a little more curing before I do too much more, and hopefully I'll be able to shoot a few little snippets of what I'm doing as I go. But like I said, my phone is freaking out. Alright, back out here this morning. I'm going to start taking away some of the dirt. Okay. Now I'm going to work on getting rid of the hot glue and surfacing off this edge. And the third ring layer is on now. This is it's looking like this is going to end up most likely being more like 8 3/4, 8 1/2 by about 22, maybe a little over 22. I may decide to put a final ring on there to bring it out to 23 if it looks a little funny, but I think this is going to be a nice size. It's a monster bowl, and I'll see what kind of nice shape I can get on it. All 3 rings glued up, glue setting, and I'll just wait a few hours here before I start to try to turn this. It's a nice hot day today, so probably in another 2 hours or so I'll be able to put some pressure on it maybe and do a little turning. Largest piece ever. Spinning nice and true. I'm spinning at 430 RPM. Okay, so I've done some shaping here on the outside. I'm now going to switch around and do some shaping on the inside. I'm up around 650. Alright, so I put a new center in here a little longer. Now what I'm having to do is reach in under the center, low tool angle till my tool is pretty much down on the tool rest, the tool bed, and then on my tool rest. And then very carefully the same thing, spinning up around 600, coming in under my tailstock support, and then alright, once again I lost a lot of footage here, but anyway, hopefully I'll be able to turn this into a video that's worth watching. This thing is giant, 22.5 inches across, and I've got it down to about a half inch wall thickness everywhere, and it's looking really sweet. A little more sanding, and some people wanted to see some of the sanding, so I'm going to try to show some of that right now. Getting close.